Imagine a feast. Now multiply that feast by 30. That is the daily baseline for one single man. In his local village, Kailash is known by a very specific nickname, Adha Mun, or half mound. A mound is a traditional unit of mass equal to about 40 kilograms. His entire reputation is anchored to his sheer weight and a seemingly bottomless appetite. This diagram illustrates a half-mound appetite. On one side, the intake of 30 adults. On the other side, Kailash alone. Maintaining this requires an absurd inventory: 80 fish, 100 puris, 3 buckets of dal, and 10 buckets of sweets. Initially, the neighbors view this as a local spectacle. They gather to watch him eat, treating his capacity as an entertaining feature of village life. But an agrarian village operates on strict mathematical limits. Food stores are carefully budgeted to sustain families through the seasons. When one person consumes the portion meant to feed 30 people, that math breaks down rapidly. Kailash operates as a literal resource vacuum. By simply eating his dinner, he creates a localized supply shock that endangers the economic stability of his own neighbors. The amusement quickly sours. The moment a local family decides to host a gathering, the prospect of Kailash arriving transforms from a funny thought into genuine dread. Throwing a simple, traditional celebration requires careful financial planning. If Kailash is on the guest list, that budget immediately collapses. Feeding him effectively forces the host to pay for an extra 30 guests they never invited. Kailash, completely oblivious to the terror he inspires, starts showing up to events uninvited. He views a wedding or a feast simply as an open invitation, entirely unaware of the panic rippling through the kitchen. He sits down, blissfully enjoying every bite, while the hosts watch months of saved resources drain away in a matter of minutes. When hospitality becomes a heavy financial loss, the dynamic of the village changes. A neighbor who was once a friend is now viewed primarily as a liability. The village realizes that tolerating Kailash is no longer economically viable. They transition from passive endurance to an organized, active resistance to protect their food supply. This map illustrates their strategy during a major upcoming wedding. To protect the feast, the hosts engineer a logistical trap. We see the actual wedding venue here, and a completely separate, fabricated route pointing in the opposite direction. When Kailash asks for directions, the villagers eagerly point him down that fabricated path. They weaponize his trust, giving him instructions that lead him entirely out of the village and into the wilderness. Following the false directions, he reaches a broken, dead-end bridge. He stands there as the sun sets, completely isolated, miles away from the celebration. This geographical dead end is entirely deliberate. It is the physical manifestation of his new status among his peers. He has now been systematically cast out. To protect its own survival and maintain harmony, a community will organically engineer the removal of a disruptive member by using distance as a defense mechanism. The weight of Kailash's gluttony lands directly on his wife, Meena. At the market and the communal well, she no longer hears friendly greetings. She hears the snickering comparisons between her husband and a bottomless pit. The social pressure becomes an unbearable daily weight. Meena eventually reaches her ultimate breaking point, telling Kailash she can no longer bear to show her face in public, and that she will leave him if he does not change. Tensions peak when the wealthy local zemindar, Narayan Chowdhury, hosts a massive feast. He explicitly bars Kailash from entering as a guest. Kailash finds a loophole. The zamindar is also hosting a high-stakes eating contest with a 10,000 rupee prize. Instead of attending as a guest, Kailash enters as a competitor against 3 professional heavyweights. Driven by pure compulsion, Kailash dismantles the competition. The 3 massive wrestlers collapse in sheer exhaustion, while Kailash keeps eating, mechanically clearing plate after plate. He wins the 10,000 rupees and proves his undeniable capacity. Yet, the victory is hollow. His body feels sick and impossibly heavy, and the crowd stares at him not with awe, but with lingering disgust. Mastering his worst habit earned him a pile of cash, but it ultimately cost him his dignity and alienated his own family. After the contest, the zamindar pulls Kailash aside. He doesn't punish or mock him. Instead, he offers a blunt, logical reality check. the zamindar lays out a simple equation. To continue enjoying good food over a long life and to actually be invited to share it with others, a person must intentionally choose to eat less. Staring at the prize money, the reality sets in. Those 10,000 rupees cannot buy back Meena's respect, nor can they purchase a welcoming seat at a neighbor's table. Kailash realizes he has been trading his entire social standing for a few hours of satiety. To keep his life in the village, he has to prioritize his wife's dignity and his neighbor's stores over his own immediate urges. Kailash agrees to change his habits. He makes a conscious decision to value his place in the community over the endless compulsion of consumption. Possessing the discipline to leave the table hungry is exactly what ensures a person is invited back to sit at it tomorrow.